Hello everybody, this is The Last Raider. We are back with another video. Sorry about not putting out videos this week. If you can tell by my voice, I got really sick this week. Almost got pneumonia with a sinus infection from allergies. Once it gets started, it just progressively gets worse until I get antibiotics. But I'm better now, and I'm going to try and catch up on videos this week. So I might do 2 videos today, probably do some videos over the weekend, so be sure to look for those. Anyway, rumor today, we are in the back in the Bad Batch in Star Wars, and bounding into comics here with a new rumor. And I've done a video on the Bad Batch already, talking about how Omega seemed to be a Mary Sue, and usually a Mary Sue is pretty much the harbinger of the apocalypse of a fandom. Okay, if there's something that you like in film, if there's something you like in movies or games, and suddenly a Mary Sue shows up, that's usually the end of it. Okay? There was a Mary Sue in Uncharted, was one of the last games that was made for Uncharted. You saw a Mary Sue come in. You've seen Mary Sues in Terminator. Woke Fate came out with a Mary Sue. You've seen lots of other movies. And the Mary Sue is basically a character that's good at everything and has pretty much no flaws. I said it was probably going to mean that the show was going to get woke and go broke. Looks like it's going to at some point, because these are the people you're going to see in this article are the people that Lucasfilm listens to and panders to. I've got another video coming out where I show the diversity training in several modules that have been released, that have been leaked, that are being showed to Disney personnel. And it runs about the same mentality you see here in this article from these individuals on Tumblr and everywhere else. This is the same mentality that Disney's trying to foster inside of their employees of Star Wars. They're trying to train their employees to have this type of mentality. So you're going to see some good cringe here today. Forewarned. Rumor, Lucasfilm makes changes to the Bad Batch after Star Wars activists claim the show and characters are racist. Yeah. Get this. A new rumor claims that Lucasfilm will be making changes to the Bad Batch after a number of Star Wars activists claim the show and characters are racist. I don't think they're racist. But let's listen to this really good logic here. Back on May 7th, Bounding Into Comics reported that Star Wars activists, particularly those at Project Stardust and a Tumblr user named CloneHub, were demanding Lucasfilm unwhitewash the Bad Batch. Specifically, CloneHub claimed the Bad Batch has been whitewashed in 2 ways, through their visual and physical design and through their voice actor. Now, what do they mean by that? There's a thing with Tumblrites. The best example is a character from Pokemon who does water Pokemon. And someone drew her in a bright light. And when she come out, they drew the character. And Tumblr, everyone else saw the character art and was like, oh yeah, that's amazing. And it was very good art. Very good art. Top tier quality. But then activists on Twitter come out and said, why is their skin so light? Her skin should be darker. Why is their skin? You're lightening the character. You're trying to whitewash the character. Made the person and harassed this individual until they finally deleted all of their artwork, gave up on putting their artwork on the internet, and then told people that they left because they were contemplating suicide. That's these people here. Are now in the Bad Batch, looking to do the same thing with the creators of the Bad Batch. They're looking to cause problems. That's the only reason they're here. This did start however, it had the opposite effect that they wanted to have. It started a whitewashing at that point. Everyone started really whitewashing the character to the point where it was borderline. Well, it was a pretty good joke. We'll put it like that. The other thing is with SJWs, see, the problem with SJWs is they demand a lot of racism but there's not enough supply of racism to meet their demand. So they make up racism. And doing accents is now considered a form of blackface to them. And they want to convince every normal person that doing an accent is horrible. Somehow, doing an accent of someone from another country, doing a Chinese accent, doing an Arabic accent, and you're white, you are somehow perpetuating white supremacy or some other bullshit. And like I said, it is because the supply of racism just does not meet the demand of racism by and far. We're not a racist country, all right? Everything that these idiots say is completely wrong. But they need racism to survive. They need a problem. They need a dragon to kill. And so they will make up one. It's kind of like, what is it, the Matlock movie where the guy goes out there and they pretty much put a fake dragon head out in the water and he goes out there and slays it in front of everybody. Like he's found some sort of lake monster and he goes out there with a spear and he kills it, and then somebody messes up and the whole thing floats to the top of the surface and it's all just a bunch of gears and everything with a rubber dragon's head on the end of it. And the guy supposedly gone out there and he's been fighting this dragon forever, and he looks like a dumb hick afterward. That's what this is. So continuing on here. Clone Hub made clear his issue with voice actor D. Bradley Baker, who has been voicing Clone Troopers since the Clone Wars animated film. So this is not a guy that has just been hired. This is an OG voice actor who is now synonymous with the clones. I mean, when you think of the clones, you pretty much are going to hear this guy's voice if you think of them talking in your mind. He's the guy that has voiced them since the animated movie. And the animated movie spawned the actual Clone Wars 3D animated show on Cartoon Network. Everybody loved the idea of watching the Jedi fight side by side with the clones. People loved it. The conflicts were amazing. The story was good. So they ended up pushing it. Everyone loved watching the clones come in and equipment and everything. And it gave people more sci-fi out of something. And so it was just something that Lucasfilm decided at the time, when Lucasfilm was being run by actual fans and the original creator of Star Wars, this is something we could milk. So they milked it. Going on here. The Tumblr user stated, D. Bradley Baker is a white man from Colorado who was chosen to play a group of men of color with an ethnically tied dialectal accent. Now, full stop. The clones are based off of a Mandalorian. Okay? Who is, I'm trying to remember the correct term for this, is a foundling. Jango Fett was a foundling of the Fett clan. And his genetic template was used for all of the clones. They used him because he was a Mandalorian soldier, and he had soldier genes that they wanted to use in the production of the clones. They wanted to use his superior genetics. They also used his superior Mandalorian combat training. They then augmented the clones to have a bit more capabilities. They were a little bit, if I understand correctly, they have a little bit more stamina than an average person. They are not just some clone dude. They are actually superhuman soldiers to an extent. That's why you see the clones doing crazy shit all the time, because they are literally that badass. They are both physically, mentally, and in terms of training, they are superior to the average soldier. If you were to pit 5 clone troopers against 5 First Order stormtroopers, the clone troopers could still kick their ass, even with outdated equipment. They're still going to kick the First Order's ass every single time, 100% of the time. Okay? Yes, I love clone troopers. They're amazing. This guy's problem here is he's trying to say that that the clones are an ethnic group. No. They're just a group of people. They're based off of one guy who we don't even know if he's even part of an ethnic group. Jango Fett's accent is a product of where he lived at. His family could have come from an entirely different planet, and he grew up on a different planet with that accent and looked like someone else. His actual dialect from his own people could be completely different. They could speak an entirely different language, not even speak an accented English. That's how stupid this entire argument is. Because if you understand how Star Wars works, people are bouncing back and forth all the time. You just got to watch the one episode of The Mandalorian where the frog woman is trying to get to her husband so they can hatch their babies, and Yoda keeps eating them. She's bouncing it all. She's going from planet to planet. That's the planet she's going to is not a planet she's native to. There's a lot of open borders nonsense going on. These idiots completely miss that because they're not fans of Star Wars. Continuing on. If it still isn't clear, this is Clone Hub talking. If it still isn't clear, Baker being white and doing this accent is the equivalent of him being hired to play a black character and then poorly attempting an African American vernacular accent, a vernacular English accent, aka black scent, ebonics, etc. It's racist. No, it's not, because one, if a company's going to hire someone to do this, they're going to hire someone who can do the voice acting properly. From what I can understand, the guy that plays Jango Fett has pretty much an English accent, or South African accent to an extent, which is kind of a form of Europe. It's kind of like a British accent or an Australian accent or New Zealand accent or something. It's not a crazy-ass accent that is not known and that people cannot do. Hell, I could pull off a British accent pretty easily. I pull off an Aussie accent pretty easily. Mostly because I'm from the South, and the effects of the way that Southern accents work in terms of how they use and how the vowels and stuff are produced are pretty much the same. Translates over much more easier than a person from Boston. Okay, you can have a person from Boston. The Boston accent does not translate over to a British accent as efficiently as a Southern accent does. Also, English people don't like hearing Boston accents. They think they're rough and grimy, but they like hearing Southern accents because we're a lot more smoother and more, more of a go-with-the-flow kind of talking sense. Anyway, but it's racist for somebody to go in there and put forth an accent, which is hilarious, that him supposedly doing an accent that he's not there. So, in other words, what this guy is saying is only black people can play black people. Only white people should play white people. By the way, they should both use, a black man should only use a black bathroom, and a white man should only use a white bathroom, because we've got to keep all that separate. It's not about finding the best person for the job. It's about finding the right racial quota. That's what this comes down to. It's about pointing out race and keeping race out in the open and separate and everything else. Don't look at people as human beings. Look at them based on their skin color. That's where this idiot is coming from right now. Continuing on. Tumblr also accused the Bad Batch's character skin tone. The Bad Batch character skin tones are lighter and whiter than the other clones. He claims this is racist. In fact, he also has issues with how the characters are depicted, specifically referring to Crosshair. He claimed Crosshair is the first person to express displeasure with regular clones. He goes out of his way to start fights he can't finish. Optically, this looks like a white man picking on a brown man, specifically because he believes he's genetically superior to them. It's fully racist. Okay. Someone tell me in the comments, because I got shit for this in one of my videos. Okay? I'll say this again. I have not seen The Bad Batch. I disagree with this moron right here. Okay? I don't believe The Bad Batch is racist. But correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I'm willing to be corrected. Just correct me with facts. From what I understand, from what I've read, the Bad Batch are supposed to be defective clones, if I am correct. If you know you're defective, how in the fuck are you supposed to be racist and have a superiority complex with a bunch of other clones who are, you're being told by everybody else, oh yeah, you're genetically defective. They're genetically superior to you, okay? Just, somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that. If I'm not, Give me a like for the video, okay? But let's keep going. If you okay, here we go. If you actually watch any of the episodes with the Bad Batch, you know this to be false and does not align with the actual events of the show. Okay, so those of you that have seen the show, correct me on this. There's an entire reason why I'm not watching Star Wars at this point. It's because of the way Gina Carano has been treated by Lucasfilm. If they hire her back, or they prove through several other episodes that they can do that they can do something and not be woke anymore, I will consider coming back to the series. I'll consider coming back and watching stuff. But until then, no. I've canceled Disney Plus at my house. I'm not watching it anymore. By the way, continuing on. Nevertheless, Colton Hub's rallying cry was picked up by another Star Wars activist on Twitter, or by other Star Wars activists. One user wrote, "Anyway, it's bad enough they got a white American to do a frankly quite racist imitation of a Maori actor's voice to play the clones in animation with them, straight up bleaching them. No way I'm possibly watching that shit. Hashtag unwash the Bad Batch." And here we go. They did a Mary Sue. Now all of because here's the thing, the Mary Sue shows that they are trying to make characters for this group of people. And when these morons come out here and they see the Mary Sue, they realize, oh, they're trying to impress us. They're trying to make us fans. We can make changes now. We can make demands. The moment that the Mary Sue is the inch given before the SJW takes a mile in the fandom. And now they're trying to take a mile. Sorry. I'm still very sick, folks. Continuing on. Another responded to the official Bad Batch Twitter handle writing, "Does this explain how their designs and writing are racist?" Or hashtag unwash the Bad Batch. Still another called Star Wars the Bad Batch and Lucasfilm racists. They wrote, hashtag unwash the Bad Batch because racist fans shouldn't be who you cater to. Get the F off my profile, racists. If you like the Bad Batch the way it is right now, if you have been a fan since the Clone Wars animated series, and you have grown up with this guy being the voice actor, and you like him, you're a Nazi. According to these idiots. I'm a Jew. Y'all don't look anything like Nazis. Trust me, we know. Fuck the Nazis is our family battle cry. Anyway. Twitter user Verpin95 tweeted, "Hey, hashtag Star Wars. The Bad Batch, especially Echo, are too white. I don't care if there's in lore reasons. They are too white, and setting the Bad Batch up as better than the rest is racist. This shouldn't be in Star Wars like this. Unwash the Bad Batch." So hear this now. He doesn't care if there's a story reason. These are the people that Disney is going to listen to. Okay? These are the people that they're catering to. This is the people that they want. These are the people that Disney is going after, and anyone who's not like them is part of the fandom menace or group of racists or group of Nazis or not the right fans anymore. These are the people who say, well, Star Wars isn't made for you anymore. Okay? These are the people Star Wars are going after. They want their money because they think there's this mythical, massive unicorn fandom out there that, oh, if we could just appease this woke crowd, billions of dollars would just pour from the skies as if God opened up the money pits in heaven. No, it doesn't work like that. This is a tiny minority of people who are just out there looking for racism, and once they get what they want, they're going to leave. They're not going to watch the show. They're going to destroy it, and they're going to run off and go to the next thing to find another fandom to destroy. That's how this all works. But this guy here, these people don't care if you have an exact reason for a member to be white. If I'm correct, Echo is probably the one who looks like he's got cybernetics, which means that he's probably got some things going on because he's been cybernetically enhanced. I want to say usually with cyborgs you have kind of a zombie-ish effect, so he's probably walking around with less blood flow to his system and everything else. That's probably causing the white pigment effect, which is reasonable. Okay, that's scientifically reasonable. You could probably do that with anybody. All right, you probably could do that with a black guy. It would probably have the same effect at some point. These people don't care. All right, you can have a scientific reason why this is happening, a lore reason. They don't care. They don't want white people on the screen, period. These people are all racists, and if they find a reason to be racist, they will use whatever mental gymnastics they can come up with to get you to change the fandom. In response to these activists, a new rumor claims that Lucasfilm has made changes to their production order to cater to them. O9 reports a source familiar with the production of The Bad Batch told O9 that in the runner-up to its premiere this week, changes to the lighting tools utilized by the animation team were made to moderate their effects in the premiere episode's starkly lit primary settings. In other words, there's a rumor now that they went in and actually did change what the artist could use. They basically went in and said, now you can use this setting for the character's skin. We're going to turn it a bit more darker, blackface those characters a little bit more. There you go. They added such tweaks will be made in future episodes of the series. So, here's the thing. They've already, according to this rumor, they've gone on, they've made a big stink about the Bad Batch, and they're already making changes happen. Eventually, they're going to make one of the Bad Batch members trans. I know people are going to get mad at me for that, but that's where this goes, okay? I've seen this in multiple fandoms. We're going to have a gay character, then there's going to have to be one of them, they're going to have to be trans, they're going to be all this, then people are going to simply be sick and tired of being bombarded with politics. They're going to have to say something bad, and they're going to have some Jabba the Hutt, or a Hutt, who's kind of orange looking with a blonde wig on for hair, talking like Trump, and they're going to have to either kill him or tell him off or something, and then people are going to be like, fuck this. I didn't come here for politics. I came here for good Star Wars action, and I'm not getting it anymore. And the fans are going to tune out, and when it's destroyed, the people who made the changes, they're not going to be there. They're not going to be paying the money because they don't really care. They're there to simply destroy the fandom. They're looking for a dragon to kill, and they can't find it. Basically, there's a mental state with firefighters who, if they don't deal with a fire for so long, some firefighters will go out and start fires just so they can go put them out. It's a weird mental state. They have to put out fires. They're so mentally into it. Whether that makes them a bad person or not, I don't know. But this is just them going, well, we hate racists, but there just aren't enough racists in the country. So we got to make more racists for us to beat. And they're literally manufacturing problems within fandoms just so they can come in there and say, oh, look, we slayed some racists. Y'all are so much better after it's pretty much like bombing the hell out of France, slaughtering all of their people simply because of a German occupation. When they get done, the French that are left are looking at them. They're going, see, we burned your entire country to the ground. We completely eradicated the German menace from your town. With them knowing full well they committed so many acts of genocide to get it done. That's what you're dealing with. Does the Bad Batch deserve this? No, I don't. I don't think so. I think this is something that fans like. I have seen that fans like it. But I'm here to tell the fans something right now. To Lucasfilm, as long as Kathleen Kennedy is in charge, as long as an SJW is in charge, you, the actual paying customer, are not necessary to them. You are not valued. And therefore, they're not going to care what you say. They're going to care what all these Tumblrites are saying, who all their collective knowledge is based on Wikipedia articles. They've probably never seen an episode of The Bad Batch. They've never seen an episode of Clone Wars. They've never seen the Clone Wars animated movie. They've never seen the prequel trilogies. They've never seen the original trilogies. And I guarantee you they didn't even go watch the sequel trilogies either. They're there because Star Wars is popular and they want to commandeer it for political reasons. They are there for propaganda only. They are not there for anything else. They're not there to exalt the fandom. They're not there to make it better. They're there to find a problem. And then if they burn it all down, they basically, these are people who will take flamethrowers to a house to kill a single ant. Okay, they'll burn the entire house down. We got the ants. You're safe. You can go back home now. You've got nothing to go back to because they burned it all to the fucking ground. That's how stupid these are. When in reality, all you got to do is just put a little Toro trap, have them eat the Toro trap, you have a little bit of patience, and eventually your ant problem is solved. These people don't know how to solve problems. You can go look at what they did in the Chaz. They don't know how to solve problems. And that's the type of people you're dealing with. You're dealing with a group of people who have the mentality of planting food. When they planted food in the Chaz, these people went out there, put down some cardboard, some fertilizer, and set potted plants on top of it as if that was going to make a difference. They didn't break ground or nothing. These are the same types of people. They don't solve problems. They make things worse. And like I said, the Mary Sue is the harbinger of a fandom's apocalypse. The clone fans, you're not the first. You are just next. Anyway, folks, tell me what you think in the comments. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel. It boosts up the algorithm. And as always, folks, stay safe, stay frosty. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye now.